All right, hello, 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 hello. Let's see, is my mic right? Um, hey everybody, so glad you could be with us today. Today is an exciting day for multiple reasons. Hold on, let me go to the wide shot here. Yo, hi, hey, hello. The got a good stream today. This is going to be a really exciting one. I'm so happy. I've got Dylan with me here. He's waiting behind the scenes, he's waiting in the wings, as it were. I'm not going to mess around too much. I'm going to bring him on pretty soon. But first, I have like a really exciting announcement, and this is totally off character for the stream, and it has very little to do with anything except for the fact that you're all going to love it anyways. Today, I am becoming a cat dad. Legitimately, today, my family is getting a little bit bigger. I have a new furry friend that is joining my household. This is Lil Tuk Tuk. Lil Tuk Tuk is a rescue cat that has been cared for very well, but she is not in a place where she can transition with her current owner, who may or may not be leaving the States. So Lil Tuk Tuk is coming to live with us and is coming tonight. So it's super exciting, and she's so adorable. I'm very excited. She's super sociable. So we got to meet her like a week ago, and she just like came right up to us and stuff. Let's pet her and all that. She just seems like a super sweet cat, and that's maybe more information than you needed, other than the fact that I'm getting a cat and it's exciting, and I'm getting a cat. So I'm it's my show. I can talk about my cat if I want to. um, so yeah, that's really it's really cool. So yeah, I'm getting a cat. Um, sorry, I just got too excited. So today I have with me Dylan Wade, who is just a gem and a gentleman and a man of many experiences and many just cool stories and things. I've known him for 4 or 5 years. Oh my goodness, Dylan, it's been a minute. So he's he's also a filmmaker like me, and that's sort of how we met. But these days he occupies his time as the channel editor at Sidemen, like the Sidemen, like that one, like the one you're like, oh, is he talking about that one? Yes, that one. So Dylan, like in addition to being just a crack editor who's able to put together stories in so little time, it's kind of mind-boggling when you see some of the stuff on that channel, because like they're doing all this content all the time, and you're looking at like an hour of footage of these charming UK Brit guys just doing all this. I mean, it always varies, right? But like the amount of work that's going in is incredible. Dylan is the guy who's pulling that off behind the scenes, and he's also genuinely super nice dude and a great filmmaker and photographer. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring on Dylan Wade. So let me do 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 do. How do you like my little transition music there? All right, Dylan, welcome to the show.
How's it going? Thanks for the nice intro. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I think
good.
I think
So
everything's all good. This might be our smoothest run up on the show yet.
that's good to hear.
Yeah. So we got a great show for you guys. Dylan and I are going to chat, and he's going to share some of his super cool work experiences, and we'll pontificate about creativity in general and wherever the flow of things takes us. We'll do that for a little while, and then eventually I'm going to turn him into a VTuber. So we got the chance to chat yesterday. Dylan is becoming a VTuber, and sort of in the same style that I exist in. So it's going to be great. Dylan, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all right, let's get this started. So typically where I start with most people is kind of just like curiosity about how they got started.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always curious as to like what draws people into doing creative work of any kind. So I'll ask you that. I'll start you there. So when did this creativity thing start for you, and how old were you, and what was it that first got you into it?
Honestly, I was about, I don't know, 12, 13 when I first started making YouTube videos. My brother Josh actually was one who got me into it, taught me Premiere Pro, things like that, but I just started to run with it, mostly starting on like iPhone videos. Like I'd take a little handheld camcorder and I'd film my iPhone screen and play games on it. And started learning the bare minimum of editing and how to put things together. I think I uploaded, gosh, well over 500 videos to my personal channel throughout being like 13 to 17.
Wow.
And a lot of those were just totally random, like little clips or whatever, but all of them did run through Premiere Pro, which is what I just about started with at an early state. And it's kind of a dead thing to say at this point because I've said it so many times, but I say I have a YouTube degree just because that's where I learned all of my editing point blank. I did not go to school because I started doing projects pretty early on, like weddings and small business promos, things like that. And along the way, I met Vicstar, which is one of the Sidemen. Gosh, it was almost like 10 years ago now. He was uploading Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty footage at the time, and I commented on his video and said, thinking this was a good idea, hey, if Vic replies, I will make a video eating grass. And he said, get to it. He had like 40,000 subscribers at the time, and I was like, oh wow, he actually responded to me. That's crazy. So me and my cringy haircut and skinny jeans went outside and filmed myself eating grass.
So and for everybody out there, this video exists. I have seen it. We've given Dylan the dignity of not playing it here today, but somewhere it's out there if you dig, I think. Or maybe it's unlisted. I don't know.
I believe it went up on his channel at some point or other, probably 8 years ago. And so I did a couple edits for him over time, still while shooting conventions, business stuff. And a couple years ago, he followed up and asked me to do a couple trial runs with their channel. And so I did them. It went well. And just as the pandemic was hitting and like all conventions were shutting down, like I was definitely about to be slowed down like crazy on work and figuring it out. They were awesome, came in, offered me the position, and for the last 2 years I've been hitting weekly deadlines, intense weekly deadlines.
I would say insane weekly deadlines. Like, I've had weekly deadlines in times in my career. Yeah. What you're doing is it's not for the faint of heart, we'll say that.
And it's the whole crew. Like, it's truly, the More Sidemen channel, anything else going on, the production of it was shooting, like everybody's on such a tight deadline. So it's intense, but like it's been smooth. It's been surprisingly smooth. And like when you're in a pinch, everybody just makes it work. You have to. And that's just like how it feels. And so far, so good.
Yeah, I will say that like it's gotta feel like, and tell me if I'm like just making this up, but it's gotta feel like over time, like the Sidemen, for those who don't know, is a massive channel. Like you guys have, I think you guys hit like 10 million in 2020. Does that sound right? Mm-hmm. Something like that. Like it's an insanely large channel. So like I feel like you saying that like you got your YouTube degree probably over time has maybe felt more legitimate.
Yeah, it's when back in the day, when I started uploading to YouTube, you look at maybe like 10 particular people that are popular at the time. And if somebody's hitting a consistent million views or something, those are like the largest channels on the planet. There's only like 10 to 20 of them at a time. I'm sure you remember like Ray William Johnson.
You've just combined two.
Shane Dawson, Epic Mealtime, people like them that were just like the talk of it. And I really wanted to grow my channel back in that day and age. But yeah, exactly. Seeing the whole YouTube space mature and grow as large as it has, it's definitely become a more legitimate space. But I don't exactly know how people really react when I tell them that I'm a YouTube editor. I think maybe it sounds more like a side gig, but for people that are on YouTube and see the production value of some of the channels, you can see that like some of them are run legitimately as businesses and entertainment, and it's the same as any network television show.
Yeah, if you're only peripherally aware of the Sidemen, like the thing to know, it's like it's about these 7 or 8 UK young guys who are all friends who do stuff together, but then they like their YouTube channel gets a whole bunch of hits, but then as Dylan just mentioned, there's like secondary YouTube channels, and then they all have other stuff going on too. Like there's at least one of them that has like gotten into fighting other YouTubers for
ASI and Logan Paul.
Yeah,
they recently released vodka, their own brand. They have Sides, which is restaurants that are coming out. They're really expanding the brand.
It's a terrible restaurant for entrees. If
Yeah.
you're if you're trying to get a main course, it's not the right place
No,
to go.
no, no. It's sides. It's mostly sides. They have some burgers, but yeah, no, they're definitely
You can only get
expanding.
sliders there,
Yeah,
or whatever UK people eat for sides. I mean, it's just the chips, no fish.
nice.
The Yeah, okay, I'll quit it there. Sorry. Um, but yeah, so like it's a whole entire enterprise. Whereas like I think everyone was kind of like everyone who was doing YouTube at a time. It was like cute, and
Hmm.
now it's like
Yeah.
you're like I know it like a handful of people actually who make their living working for other people doing YouTube. So that's
Hmm.
like 100%. I mean, if it pays the bills, it's legit. That's my well, there are things that pay the bills that aren't legit, but like we
Uh,
don't. This isn't a philosophy show yet, so
uh, that's a tricky one, but most of the time, I think you're right.
yeah. As
That
long
feels
like
right.
if nobody gets hurt, then it's
Yes, you're
probably
very right though. It's gotten to that point, and obviously some people are still like the majority of people are still making things on their own. But I guess at a certain point, when you have to delegate so much, like you just have too much responsibility, and you need to have other people taking care of whatever's going on. So like before I came in, there were working extensively to find a new editor every single week, and that just like wasn't worth it for them to do that. They were having edits being dropped, etc. And when the pandemic hit, we started coming to points, because they upload every single Sunday, where a video would be shot on Wednesday and I would need to have it done on Saturday to be reviewed, get notes done, have it uploaded on Sunday. And these are videos that are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. And oftentimes there's 10 to 12 angles. Oftentimes it's four,
we're
five
talking of
hour,
continuous
consecutive
cameras that
footage.
are running showing the same stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
coverage
yeah.
essentially.
Camera's running the same stuff, but
Yeah.
then also there will be times where they'll split into teams to do some kind of challenge where they have to go around London, and it'll be 4 hours of each team to cut through and then put into montage form. So it pushed me into learning how to really condense my workflow and honestly push my editing software to the maximum as far as shortcuts and just making it efficient. Because at first I was probably 4 times slower than I am now at getting through an edit.
You're like if Baby Driver was like an editor.
Uh, I've definitely learned a lot, and like through other editors on YouTube. Like I mean that's where it all comes from. So it's just trying to put a lot of those things together, and also just knowing the format.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what the experience is because, like, when I met you, we were both video freelancers,
Hmm.
except that, like, I did not have. I did not have my life together at the time, so I was like always asking you for advice because it was clear, like this Dylan guy, he knows what he's doing. So I was like talking to you, particularly about business stuff. So and you were, if I remember right, like I don't want to like
Hmm.
make any like you were doing all right if I remember correctly. Like you were doing a decent job with your clients and the projects you were doing, and then I was like I ended up moving out of the same town you live in and moved to New York, and then
Hmm.
like later you're like, oh yeah, I do this YouTube thing now, and I was like, oh, that's interesting because like I remember you having so much drive and like really going after all that stuff. So like what has been, I guess, the pro con list of like
Hmm.
working for yourself for clients and being a
Hmm.
freelancer versus like working for YouTubers and cutting their videos?
Yeah, back in freelance days, I was so sure that that's like what I always wanted to do, and I'm technically a contractor with them. They're wonderful bosses and amazing people to work with, so like the consistency is great there. But I never saw myself doing that initially because I enjoyed, reaching out to clients, doing a bunch of variety, and I guess having no ceiling to how many jobs you could take on, or like scale up to do a lot of higher paying jobs or whatever, just try and really max it out. And then as soon as I switched into this, I started not necessarily like getting lazier mentally, but I realized just how much I was like on steroids to reach out to people and follow up and like think about what clients I could get into and like, hey, do you need a video again? Like, what can I like? I was always really pushing to try and book jobs, and it was a little bit stressful because like I was doing okay, like I was fine, but I only had a select few clients. So then if somebody decided that they didn't want videos anymore, or they just want to take a step back for a few months, and it's like, well, that's earning half of what I was for the next 6 months or whatever, unless I can pull somebody else. But like, it's not necessarily as quick as you might think it would be. First, you have to talk to somebody, have to go through the ideas of what they want, then go through scheduling. And this just made it
Yeah,
to where,
freelancing is its own beast.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
every
it,
step of the way
it
is
can be
has
brutal. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and like
Sure.
stuff can stop and start at any minute too.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
remember you giving me the spiel once. I was like, dude, how do I get some clients? And you're like, this is what you do. And I was just like, I don't want to do that.
I remember that, and I was like, this is kind of like literally what you have to do. You have to like find a random business on Instagram, message them cold, and be like, hey, I make these videos. Would you like some? And yeah,
Hello, sir. Would you like some videos? The
basically every single time. So I guess I didn't realize how nice the security was and consistency of every week, because instead of thinking about the multitasking and such of going and gaining a bunch of multiple clients, I got to focus on one thing each week. And it's just a calendar. I get to know when things are shot, I get to know when they need to be done by. And so I guess it helps me a little bit more with saying mentally clear. I'm not always all over the place.
you're not pulled
So
in different directions.
yeah. Now, the biggest difference with this being a YouTube editing job versus like a corporate in-house job is that I get to edit things that are produced like solely for entertainment. So I'm editing, hide and seek in the world's largest toy store, or, treasure hunts, or I don't know, just a lot of, exciting different things. And if I were to be at somewhere else where it's a corporate setting, then you're doing the same thing over and over again on very boring things.
Right.
So it's a totally separate genre of stable video editing than a lot else that's out there.
That's a really interesting take, Dylan, because I think when some people think about I'd like to go do YouTube stuff, they think about how they get to work on more entertaining projects, which is fun, but they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't necessarily think there'd be more security. So you're in an
Mm-hmm.
interesting position because you traded something that you liked, but like okay, but you traded for something that was both more stable and more fun to make, which is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Because
Yeah,
usually that's not that's not
yeah.
a most
That's
people don't
I
find themselves in that
yeah.
space.
I tell people all the time that I'm just incredibly fortunate to have landed where I did and to have eaten grass. Um,
Sometimes you gotta eat a little grass. That's all you need to do.
yeah, yeah. I tried mud once, but that guy didn't. Well, he did respond, but it didn't go anywhere.
Oh, I'm kind of mad now about the mud guy didn't respond. Like
He did. He was somebody else.
mud's
His name
hardcore,
was
man.
Q-Bucks. He was in the gaming community, and he commented on the video telling me I was an idiot.
Who's laughing now, buddy?
I don't know, but yeah, no, I'm fortunate and to have ended up where I was, and like that's really all there is to it. And so now I really tried my best to perform each week and get stuff done and stay on top of it so that I can keep it for a while.
That's cool. That's great, man. What? So one thing that stands out to me, and I said this sloppily a little bit in the intro, but like you're cutting so much footage, like you're
Mm-hmm.
basically producing 45 minutes to an hour and a half of television with like other than like randomly placed YouTube ads, like kind of with no act breaks or anything. Like you're just kind of making like a sheer amount of
Mm-hmm.
honestly really good work. Like I posted in our Discord that did you cut the Tinder in real life videos?
I did not. I did
You
not.
didn't.
That
Oh, dang
was
it.
that was I've cut. I would say like 90% of what's come out since 2020. But that was
Except for
Chip
the one
Fat.
thing I
Yeah,
picked.
that was
No, that's terrible.
that was Chip Fat. He is the More Sidemen channel editor, and I've told him many times that he is 10 times the editor that I am, and he is. He is a cutting genius, a visual effects genius, and he does a lot of overlays and special effects on the main channel edits. We
Oh,
also
cool.
have a sound mixer, Johnny, who I tweak a lot of the audio when I'm going through the video. I do levels. We always have at least 7 mics on at any given point, and oftentimes a lot of different conversations. So it's like a lot to go through the first time around and try and make sense of everything. But he helps clear up so much of that, and he is wonderful at what he does. So my job is really just getting through the whole, rough cut of it. Chip every few weeks might need to help out on something, but it is just a lot of raw footage that is. I would say they are so much beyond a lot of network television. Uh,
Right. It's
so
a lot of the
it's all.
stuff that you're cutting is like it's more the kind of thing I actually want to see when I'm watching
Mhm.
TV. It's like it's mostly just like I guess what documentary people would call the B-roll. Like it's just mostly filming what's happening,
Yeah.
and I feel like the old traditional way of like watching entertainment television would be like someone does something and then like cut to 3 interview clips of like that
Hmm.
person like responding to that or something. Like it's still probably like reality television if that makes sense because like
Definitely.
no like KSI isn't like telling everyone a bedtime story with dragons or something like that
Yeah.
that yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very real. Definitely just reality based. Yeah.
yeah, but it's really cool because in my opinion in a lot of ways you guys your whole team is like beating television and like the like I know people who work in television and
Hmm.
it's like it's insane how much goes into making
Yeah.
television, but like the whole thing, the whole venture, like
Hmm. I
the
tell
fact.
I tell Khan that all the time. He's the one who basically assembles the shoots. They have a manager that helps with locations, a little behind the scenes on how many people are here. Khan has maybe 6 to 10 people at any given point on set,
So he'd be
helping
like
shoot.
the like executive producer, line
Yeah,
producer.
I guess you would call him the executive producer. He just literally makes the whole thing run, and he's 10x his quality in the last 3 years on the channel. And so he has basically everything to do with the scaling up to get to that television type level.
Yeah, that's it's really amazing. Like I I think it's crazy, especially with like all of the like ligaments and strictures and scaffolding that goes into making TV and like how we need
Mm-hmm.
crews and everything like
Yeah.
that. It's crazy to me what's like and some of this is like because everything's digital now, like
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
some things are still slow in certain industries because they used to not be able to be fast. But it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me how like you guys will just like, all right, like we gotta let's throw a bunch of cameras down and stuff like that. It's Wednesday, and then we'll get it over to Dylan. He'll do the rough cut, and then like we'll get the notes back, and then all like and then we'll do
Yeah.
the mix, and it's out by Sunday. Like that's not something that used to be possible. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's like also taxing on you personally, but the because it's still hard, like it's still hard to do like just because you're not going slow, most people still aren't going
Yeah.
that fast.
But it
But
works. It works. And it's the guys who come back. They don't have somebody in between reviewing these. One of them will be up at 3 a.m. on Saturday night. Thankfully, they are 5 hours ahead
oh
because
yeah,
they can get their notes in and it's still like 8 or 9 p.m. my time versus having to like literally stay up all night. They personally all give notes and make sure that the videos are seen through and they upload them and everything else. That's like one of the other parts that they're totally hands on with. It's just the crews and the production of it behind it that they make sure they have a lot of professionals on.
so yeah, like since we're speaking to the quality of that, like you're cutting and editing for like one of the largest YouTube. I think it's the largest UK YouTube channel. The which is also
I think they would be, yeah.
which is also funny because people probably expect you to be from the UK, but you're not. Uh,
No.
the what have you learned about making YouTube content? Like, what makes a good YouTube
Mhm.
video?
Uh, I think, see, what's interesting is they make really long form content, and I have never actually watched such long form content before. And so I think what I've learned through it is really being able to summarize. I used to send a lot of really long versions of videos, and the number one revision would always be, we need to trim this down. We need to cut, 30 minutes out of it, out of this, hour and a half long video. So I'd go back through and I keep trimming and trimming. And this is something true that I've just told people throughout all of my video editing is that you need to be able to let go of footage. Even if you think that something is good or a good moment or something, there is a such thing as audience retention, and you need to like respect that. And so, really, just being able to cut down as much as possible is one of the most crucial things. I mean, they pay attention to metrics on YouTube, and I'm sure all channels do. And so we eventually started playing around with, okay, do we do like a little teaser intro? Do we jump right into it? How does it start? If there's any type of ads or promotions, like where do we place them? The whole thing is just like, is this section too fast paced? Is this too slow paced? Like, which way do we need to go to make it to where we feel like people will continue watching? And that's also the most time consuming thing to change. It's easy to switch around some music or, add another angle or whatever. But that at the root of it, a lot of people might think that more production is going to solve problems, whereas a lot of the times it's the content, like the raw content and what's happening.
Hmm.
I think it's sometimes as editors, I and some other people will get really caught up in making it look the best that it can and like thinking about these effects, and we'll be confused when a note comes back and they're like, can we replace this shot with this, or let's just cut this section entirely, and you're like, that looks good though.
Yeah,
And you have to step back and be like, okay, editing aside, how does this look for the viewer?
but that scene has a Hitchcock zoom or something.
Yeah, a lot of extra things that you might think are cool, but like it doesn't need to go in. That's the viewers won't care.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But and that's funny because that's like kind of the opposite of what I expected you to say, because you guys do cut so much content in that
Hmm.
like I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, more the merrier. Like
Yeah,
add more shots, because I've spent like a large chunk of my career cutting 4 hours of footage into like 5 minutes of footage.
yeah. You're taking
So
like snippets from interviews and such,
right, yeah,
like making them really compact, like promos. Yeah.
yeah. Do you guys have like a formula or anything you use when you're making a Sidemen video, or is it just like chaos every time?
No, I think the shoots, Khan takes the blunt of that, the one who's producing everything on set, because so many of these videos are run and gun. And it is just like, John, camera guy, go there, do this, do that, switch around. Like he's always really having to stay on top of things because of how sporadic the shoots can be. So that's really not as much on me. Sometimes something will happen, and it's like, working around a couple angles or whatever, but that doesn't revolve on me when it comes to like craziness.
Yeah. So do you get scripts or anything? Like does Khan send you in the like a rough of like do you get like a brief or something?
Yes, I'll usually talk to him after a shoot, and he'll give me a rundown. Like, here's how many camera angles we had. Here's anything notable. Could you fix this angle for me? Whatever else. But for the most part, I get it in. I sync up all the footage, and I just start cutting. And as I go through it, I get a feel of what the format's supposed to be. I always talk to the guys and say, okay, how long do you want this to be? What format should it actually be in? Sometimes they want me to mimic like a game show, because they do a lot of game show
Mm-hmm.
style videos. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'll like go and preview whatever it is that they have in mind. but it's pretty open ended most of the time. I
Hmm.
just kind of have to feel out what it's supposed to be. And I mean,
Yeah,
the way that it's shot is also so for not formatted, but like they have it the plot of it set out, so it's kind of easy to find the story in all the footage.
yeah. So the huh. Does it strike you that it takes a certain kind of personality to be able to deal with that kind of thing? Like I know people who are good filmmakers who just like couldn't hack it in a
Mhm.
situation like that.
Well, I really considered like not doing this when they first asked me because of how much freedom I had in the like the freelance world beforehand, and like I'm contracted right now weekly with them, and so like you're saying, I was like, this is a really intense, like locked in schedule given the deadlines. So I didn't think that I was cut out for it. I think it's just something that you get used to. I think it's
Huh.
like um, something you mentally have to adjust to. And once you have, and you've been doing it for a few months, then you're kind of just on track with it. The same way, if I stopped doing this for a few months, I'd probably be like, how did we ever keep that up? I know that like the second channel editor has not taken a vacation
I
since he
can't
started working because he like nobody can do what he does.
I I can't tell if that was a cry for help or not.
It was not because I know how much he loves it. I know that he loves the editing so much, and I do too. But I just know and can relate to him in the sense of like I can't call out if I need to do anything, but if I do call out, it goes to him, and he
Yeah.
starts. So
Yeah. What's the most surprising thing about being a YouTube channel editor? Like what would people not expect or what would people assume going into it?
hmm, what would they not expect? Um, I think how much goes into it, probably. Um, I think that, if you read through certain comments or whatever, people are like, oh, good job, guys. And you'll see like people saying, this was a good edit. And somebody will be like, I think Harry edits the videos, and he's one of the Sidemen. Uh, I don't think that people often see what's behind the scenes. They don't know that they have a manager. Well, actually, they have met her on camera. TP. She um, basically organizes so many locations because they shoot at a ton of different locations, and also the guys individually take on videos, and they spend a ton of time organizing it with them. So I think it's just how much work goes into each video, especially when you're thinking about YouTube, because you're like,
Yeah.
this is a cool, platform. Cool people are
It's
hanging out,
cute.
making fun content, but um, the production value of it behind the scenes is really, really neat. And I don't want to sound like I am overwhelmed with it or like it's too
No,
much every week because like everybody gets through it totally fine, and like I love the editing and like putting it out every single week, and like it's very fulfilling. I'm only trying to relay how intense those like couple days can be.
it sounds like um the way you talk about it, it sounds like there's a good team that's supportive. Like you sound like
Yeah,
both
for sure.
you sound both like humble that you're not trying to take credit for like all of this stuff, but then at the same time you also like at on the other hand aren't losing your mind because you don't have to do all of that stuff. So like
Exactly.
you've got a lot of people making it happen. So yeah, I can see why that
Yeah.
would be surprising for that. One thing I think is really cool is like you still do personal work. Like I've linked your channel in the description. Like you still do a lot of fun personal projects. You will go shoot stuff and
Hmm.
then do edits and you guys are really active on Instagram. So that's I'm I'm like I think that's probably a sign of health.
It definitely is, and I mean, I we try and prioritize that because I like to make a personal video every several months. It's just like literally a montage of what's going on in my life and things that we're doing with friends and family. But like those things are the favorite things that I ever make. Whenever I get to post one, I'm just super. excited because I'm a very nostalgic person. So I kind of make those for me and anybody else around me that personally will enjoy going back and looking at that in a few years. Um, it's just like a little, I don't know, a more in-depth collection of memories that I really like going back to and getting to relive in that sense. And I know that you shoot occasionally. I haven't seen any photos because you're not very active on Instagram and social
I'm
media.
only on YouTube right now.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I like those are some of the most satisfying things to capture.
Yeah, I think that like one of my questions in my notes here is I was going to ask you like, do you still make time for personal work despite like a demanding work schedule? And then I looked at like I was looking at some of your work, like some of the stuff that you have on Instagram and some of the stuff that you have on YouTube recently, and I was like, oh, I don't really have to ask. Like he's doing a really good job of of doing that. So that's fantastic.
It really
That
helps with Becca, my wife, to be married to another creative because she has been a photographer for well over 10 years now. Yeah. And so, when either one of us is not really in the flow of like going out and taking photos as often, like we always kind of keep each other on like into it. We'll be like, let's go do a photo shoot together, or hey, let's just do one in the house today, or anything like that. And sometimes we're not like super into it, but we really love it when we're taking photos and getting to edit and post them. So it's just like something we prioritize, I guess.
that's great because I think it's easy for some people, especially people who have to cut as many hours as you do, to like fall behind on that stuff. And I think what ends up happening over time is that you don't end up being able to do much more than what you're doing at your job. Just for like, because like you said, like the rhythm becomes its own thing, and then you know 6 months of not doing Sidemen videos, you'd probably wonder how the heck you were doing so many Sidemen videos. But then while you're in it, it's something that you have adapted to. So
yeah, exactly.
That's good. Yeah, it's funny that you led with the grass story, with like eating grass for Vic, because like I have that in my notes too. Is like I have a bullet point that says, "LOL, can I get you to tell the grass story?"
Yeah. I've told it so many times now that like it's just funny. I was very embarrassed to tell that at first because it's kind of ridiculous that I.
It's great. I love it.
It worked out okay.
It started with a blade of grass.
Yeah. Have you?
If you can.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you can find the video, it's really funny because you eat it and you're like, well, that doesn't taste very good.
No, it definitely didn't. But it was okay.
I think you tried different like variations of grass feed. You're like, this one's really bitter.
It's a couple different strands from the front yard. Yeah.
It would be bad taste to bring a guest on and immediately ask them to see a video of them as a teenager. But if you're,
that's true. My face would be very red if you did play that.
Yeah. So is it time to turn you into a VTuber?
I think so. I think that would be awesome.
Let's do it.
I don't understand exactly how you're going to get there, but you just tell me what you need.
Yeah, so here's what we're doing, y'all. So, like, y'all know I have, like, a very particular VTuber style. I do all of my characters in Blender. So, what we're going to do is we're going to hop over into Blender, and I've already pre-made a lot of Dylan's model. He sent me some reference photos, so I was able to use those and set up a character for him. So, I actually have a little time-lapse of that. I'm going to play that for you briefly. And yeah, here we go. All right, yeah. So
Cool.
I'm let's see. So I've got Blender open now. I'm trying to see here. So I'll cut over in here. I have like this view, but I also have like a fun side by side view where
Mhm.
I can show people
Oh, nice.
you next to you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to Blender first though. So yeah. All right. So I'm gonna jump in here. Um, all right. This is fun. So we've got Dylan here, and I can see his face, which is quite helpful. So we're gonna see. We don't have like a ton of time. We have maybe like a half hour. So like, let's let's
Where do
get
you
to
even
it.
start?
Where do I even start? So like,
Yeah.
hold on. I'll pull up your photos here.
Hmm.
The So I have these different photos that are visible on one side, but I literally start with like a cube,
Hmm.
and then I start like putting modifiers on that cube.
Yeah.
Like I'm always mirroring everything I'm doing because I wouldn't want to make an arm twice and then I wouldn't make them the same way anyways.
Hmm.
So like I usually just I start this cube and then I'll pull it away from you here. I start with this
What
cube.
is this cube?
The it's just like raw polygons. So like so now I have half a cube, but then I can
Hmm.
like I'm all keyboard shortcuts in Blender, which
Yeah.
is maybe not as visually satisfying to watch. I don't know, or maybe it's more satisfying to watch, but like I'll, lift something up and I'll see I'll have a problem here. So I need to like turn on clipping so then I can like, I can kind of start just doing a rough of the person and it's like, okay, we need arms. And then
Yeah.
I'll just switch between all these different Blender tools, but I'll start like, I'll do them all in such a way. I'm pretty fast with this. Like I
You are. Yeah.
can kind of pull stuff out pretty quickly. So, however, I'm not so fast so fast as to like completely start from
Hmm.
scratch on the show. So here's Dylan. Um, I don't know if this is gonna embarrass you, but like I should probably say like you, if you were a video game character, you would be tank class. You you have like a very strangely large frame. It is
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
scary.
I have the tree trunk legs and just like, yeah. I have definitely always been that way. As a kid, I was just stocky. At one
Yeah.
point, I weigh about 195 now, and at one point, I weighed 145.
Oh no, you've taken me the wrong way. I'm saying that you look real swole.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's. Becca has been the one who got me into doing anything exercise wise, which is why I think I look okay. But beforehand, I weighed the same amount and did not exercise at all, and I did not. I looked a little pudgy.
Nah, you're looking good, dude. You're looking
Thanks.
good. So I'm gonna so one thing I have your like basic head here. So like what we're gonna try and do is we're gonna try and like sculpt out your head,
Hmm.
and we'll see if we can get like a cool VTuber headshot in like the
Hmm.
next half hour.
Yes.
Sound good?
Yes.
Let me
So
check
are
on
you going to
chat
start
here.
this like the one that you have where what you add eyes, a mouth, etc.
Um, Basically, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Like
Hmm.
we're not gonna make you fully interactable during the stream, but like we'll get you like a profile picture,
Cool.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like some of the stuff I've already done, some of it I just like had to do quickly. It's like your ear could use more work. I just don't have that much time.
Hmm.
Um, so like let's start with giving you a nose. Like let's give your
Sure.
face some space.
I
So
really
like
like how you use the reference photos to sculpt it.
yeah, thank you. So like there is such a thing as sculpting in 3D modeling and that's
Yeah.
not actually what I'm doing. So
Okay.
this is like a this process is called auto subdivision surfacing. So
Yeah.
like I have if I turn off this filter here, you turn into a bunch of
Hmm.
polygons and then it's
Hmm.
like it's weird looking
Yeah.
polygons too, right? So like I turn that back on and then boom, suddenly you're good to go. This is
So you're pushing in different like corridors of the frame.
it's like doing math to make things
Yeah.
to like just multiply the geometry
Yeah.
basically. So I'm gonna add a little nose here. Let's see here. So I'm gonna do like the same. Actually, you know what? The fastest way usually is to just borrow geometry straight off the face. So like we'll just grab that, and then it'll become its own little object here, and then what's going on? So like we're trying to like merge these guys. They're not merging though. This is maybe we just need to like we've got all these filters on. It's like this is also like kind of an experiment. Like if this doesn't work very well, I'm like not gonna do this with a guest ever again. I figure I knew you well enough that I could like could give this one a go.
Yeah. We got time.
So far with the Virtual Woody Variety Show, we have just been trying a lot of new things and seeing what's cool and what sticks.
What's been your favorite so far?
We did a game with Sapphire on the last stream that we did, and that was so much fun because it's like you've cut like Sidemen game shows. That was my version of that.
That was the wheel one that you were showing me.
Yeah, this wheel. So like I got to code the game and then we played the game. Which is a satisfying combination.
I was gonna say it's probably satisfying to actually put it together and have it work out. And
yeah, let's see. Your nose is like that's more like my nose.
My nose looks kind of like a bird. It's very long and a little bit arched and pointed.
Slightly avian. That's okay. We gotta own what's ours.
Yeah.
It's like
my hair is really tall and it like goes into a big faux hawk, I guess. Like it calls me a cockatoo.
Yeah, so that's like to me it's all about I always feel like I look like a brick. Like I'm not super tall and I have like weirdly square aspect, but I kind of like it. So I feel like there's a certain level of positivity that's like okay, I'm cool with this. So like I think you look great, and I think we're gonna make you something really cool. So
did you change anything about yours that you particularly did or did not like about your face when modeling your character?
That's such a good question,
because I feel like it looks very similar to you, but like I want to know if there are any subtleties that you're like, I'm going to make my nose a little bit taller or face a little bit different.
Is it how are you feeling about this nose?
You
can give
feedback. Think it looks pretty close, honestly. Maybe like slightly more narrow on like the whole part of it. Like it feels like it goes out a little bit too much. Like
the center
part of it came in. Not well. I don't know your limitations, but like the specific.
I can do whatever you want. I can make anything.
It looks more like an oval versus like a bridge.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
But I don't want to get too nitpicky. Like it's fine however it looks because I know that you're doing a super fast. Yeah, exactly.
More like that.
Yeah.
This is a tailored approach.
Nice.
Where's the wheel? Mega Steak Man wants me to bring back the wheel. I think later this week we're gonna do the wheel, but I can't say that for sure yet. Yeah, Mega Steak Man was on this show and we had a great time, but that was before the wheel existed. I think he was happy about that actually. So let's see. So let's leave that for now because like we'll change things later as like basically as the like we'll put the rest of the face in and then it'll be more obvious what we need to change. So yeah, one thing I've done is just I've kind of given up on like doing anything but other than having like sort of a round face. Like that's just sort of my style anyways.
What, like concaving cheeks and like the mouth and such?
Yeah,
like bone structure.
Yeah, hold on, I'm just gonna clone this out again. Oh wait, I can't see from this view. Yeah, but I do like it's really kind of you to note that this is like slapdash, and it kind of is because we're doing it for stream, but like I want you to be happy with it too. Like I don't want you to be like, "What, he made me look terrible," because like then no one would ever want to do this again.
No, I mean, whichever way it looks, honestly, it'd be funny if it was silly too. So
Yeah, see that's the thing is like I know you from real life
yeah,
before YouTube stuff, so like
yeah.
I knew
We
I
have
had a
this
little bit of license.
we have this game called Whatchamadraw It, and it basically gives a lot of prompts, and you have to draw up those prompts in 60 seconds or 2 minutes, whatever you want it to be. And sometimes we just make up our own, and we're like, okay, draw your partner with 3 eyes or whatever else. And so everybody there, other than Becca, cannot draw. Well, some of the others are better than me, at least, because I draw like a 5-year-old. But it is very funny and intimidating when you're trying to draw somebody in 2 minutes and you have no idea how to. It's a fun game. Everybody just makes some really interesting drawings, and we just laugh about them. But what I'm saying is, you
Whoa.
cannot offend me. Whatever it looks like, I'll think it's awesome.
I generally think of you as someone who's pretty hard to get under the skin of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true about you. And it's interesting that you mentioned like parties too, because that was one of my first memories of meeting you. Is like I met you like at a shoot of some kind, and then like I think you just invited me to like your family Christmas party. So I just showed
Yeah.
up, and it was like me and like all your closest friends and family. I was like, well, this dude seems
Yeah.
pretty chill.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly what the event was, but the first time that we met was when I was shooting that video for Eli.
Yeah, a mutual friend of ours was
Yeah.
doing some kind of video. So this is
Yeah.
getting
And
this is a
then,
little too wide-eyed. The eye
yeah,
placements are
my eyes
super
are
hard.
pretty close, actually.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice. Are you able to put gauges on the ears?
Of course.
Oh, nice.
Of
That's
course.
really my only distinctive feature.
Yeah, ears are super hard to do, but let's do it. The gauges won't be hard at all.
I like watching the molding of it. So what's the difference between this? Because I've seen like time lapses, and I follow a couple artists who do like really like super real celebrity molds, and I've always wondered how they actually do them, because it's crazy to me to think about that on the computer, and now that I'm seeing you and how you can have like this smooth mold around the face, and
Yeah.
you can pull and push different areas. I thought that you'd be working with like serious angles, but this makes a lot more sense when I'm looking at
You
it.
thought it would be like tighter geometry that I'd have like
Exactly.
trouble dealing
Exactly.
with. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
It
what's the
depends on the
difference when
workflow.
you're doing realistic?
So like when you're sculpting someone, like that's its own I should make these more obvious. That is one thing like with cartoons, like you do like sort of like a rule of obviousness sometimes. So
Yeah.
the uh and I think the nose is like this is like where I realized that like the nose is too intense. Like,
A little
like
Squidwardy.
yeah, little Squidwardy, and then so like let's like kind of bring that back out,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like sort of recess the
It's actually interesting.
edge there.
It's like relatively straight down, but then at the end it like turns down a little bit. Like it's
Let's
like
let's add,
relatively straight on the bridge, and then it just drops off.
yeah. You get the wrong person into a segment like this, and then suddenly it's like
Suddenly I leave in tears.
yeah, exactly. Which you don't want. Yeah, the other reason I'm just pulling like geometry out from like stuff that's already in is because like you don't want to you don't want to get to a place where hold on, let me look at OBS for a second. Yeah, this is like yeah. Hold on. It's kind of irritating that you can see that top bar. So I'm like cut to that. Yeah, there we go. Um, um, you always want your, this is for, if you know out there, Blender users, like it, you always want your origin point, like everything has a 3D origin point. It's it's this little point here. It's actually in the wrong spot, which I'll fix later, but you always want all the objects to be in the same place. Yeah, with sculpting, you're trying to like, with that workflow to make realistic characters, you're just doing an entirely different set of things. Like this setup is really good for making like cartoon looking figures really quickly. So like at some point on the stream, we're gonna have the creators of, I think I'm safe to say this, I think this is sure enough, of The Good Times Are Killing Me, which is this upcoming show that's made in Blender, but they're doing roughly the same workflow I am now, and it's way more of like a cartoon show. So if I drop this, I can get some,
nice,
because like you can see how everything's auto smoothing for me, because like I'm not making like squares or anything like that. So
like the follicles on the eyebrow hairs,
and I'm also not like brushing anything, but I can make things like more like more intense. Yeah,
so I guess like texture mapping and so much extra comes when you're not doing just simple colors. And
sometimes I texture things, sometimes I just leave them as color slabs. Except it's not in Unreal Engine, it's not really super efficient to just run them as color slabs. So it helps to not do it that way.
You're saying it would make it lag?
Depends on like how many color slabs we're talking about. But my character doesn't have like my character has a texture map for the shirt, but then I have mostly materials on my character. I think I'll probably change that at some point to make it a little bit more efficient. So let's see here. You've got good eyebrows in real life.
Thanks. So with you sculpting this now, and there being other VTubers, which I'm assuming stands for virtual YouTuber.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Are there multiple people out there who create their own characters and sculpt them, or are a lot of people using 3D models that have already been created to rig?
Oh man, this is starting to look cool. So it is looking good. The vast majority of VTubers are anime style VTubers. Okay. So there's sort of like their own cottage industry. There's a couple, mostly one program that people can use to make their custom models, or they'll commission other artists sometimes. I feel like all of the, or like maybe like, I feel like 50% of the Western style VTubers have already been on my show. That's not true, but it's an underrepresented thing for sure. Yeah, this is starting to look like you, dude.
I see it.
Yeah. This is starting to get there. So I'm gonna make you a mouth, and then we'll do some hair, and then we'll throw some color on everything, and then maybe we can light it and stuff fast enough to. But yeah, no, it's the whole VTuber thing started in Japan, so it started through like Japanese companies that were like trying to do real time motion capture, and then like they started turning that into content, and they were like, hey, we could make a business out of this. So like I can't remember the name of the author, but I watched a video. I think Mega Steak Man shared it with me. That was saying like it's like one of those rare things that have like kind of, instead of like a business co-opting an art form that was done by individuals. Actually, I do flat mouths. It's like something individuals started doing that a business was doing first, which is pretty weird.
Yeah, that is interesting. Do you feel like it will? Like I feel like it will, but do you feel like it will become kind of exponentially popular once VR is more accessible? I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, Oculus, I'm sure you've seen it, next year is hoping to come out with the eye tracking and everything else, to where maybe like something like this could be an all-in-one rig that really seamlessly hooks up to each other. And so do you feel like a lot of people will transition into the virtual look?
So as to the how with Oculus and stuff, like I think it's interesting because there's like a lot of competition for in that space for like who's gonna make the thing. You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
there's and some of them are tied to different methods too. So
Yeah.
this is where my workflow gets a little tricky because I want to like combine this more. I'm gonna make this a little bit less flat panel, but maybe that's yeah. It gets hard to like keep a straight angle there, straight edge. So I'll just like because you can kind of like everything's auto curving, so I'm like trying to like
Yeah.
lessen the curves
Yeah.
sometimes and make them more intense other times. So it's tricky because I'm seeing that hard edge there, and I'm like, how do we deal with that? Can we deal with that? Or do we have to like find another way to? I think more people will become VTubers for sure. Like to me, what's cool about the medium, and I say this all the time, is like what it allows us to make. Like I think most VTubers now, people who just start making VTubers, because like a lot of people are making them. But what's cool about the opportunity to do live CG characters is that you can tell whatever kind of stories you want. You can make whatever kind of experiences that you want. So
Yeah.
like you can end up here we'll try to give you like a smile. I don't have time to rig your face, unfortunately. The that's but
Nice.
yeah, the so that's cool. Let's give you hair. That's a good enough to pass mouth, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's actually it looks a little shy. Let's add like a little bit more dip to that smile. Yeah, it'll work.
Happy looking guy.
It's you. You're that happy looking guy. Hair's tricky too because we gotta like.
Is it more like solid hair that you're doing?
Yes, I'm not doing any hair simulations for you. To me, it always looks kind of uncanny. I watched somebody's Amsterdam stuff. Hey, Amsterdam stuff. Amsterdam stuff's the guy. Just reacting to chat a little bit. Amsterdam stuff's the guy who's getting into CG but owns a tavern in Amsterdam.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, that is really cool.
Popped into chat recently and was telling me about that. I'm like, that is awesome.
That is really neat.
Yeah. So hair always starts off by looking like a terrible helmet. Like that's just part of the process. Then I'm gonna do like a. Could you tell I've done this like a lot? Like it's like almost muscle memory at like every stage for me now because of like with this style of like stuff I've developed and like what to do with it. So
got the nice little side bowl.
Yeah, but we're gonna actually like mimic your actual hair.
Cool.
So like we're gonna start with just like this kind of hair situation, and as like a base, and then I'm gonna add like manually add like your spikes. So like that's like how we'll start it. I guess like the whole. You know what? I'm gonna go back a couple steps. Yeah, I'm gonna like kind of like recede the hair back into the because we're going fast today. I don't normally like to do it like this. Like for some reason, I like kind of like touching up around the edges, but like
because when you're doing straight up hair, it doesn't mesh as well.
Yeah.
I used to just have a shaved head a few months ago. That might have been a little bit easier.
That's the only way I'm doing this for people in the future is if if they have shaved heads. I'm like, yeah, I'll make you a VTuber.
Yeah.
On the stream. Otherwise, no, it's too hard. So like we'll start. I need to look back at your photos again. Your hair goes down further. I didn't grab like enough sections down here. I think I can fix that easily enough. I can kind of just like extrude that, pull that down here. I don't know if this is fun for the audience, but this is like a lot of fun over here. the let's see here, and then we can start pulling stuff in around here, and it's fine if it just sort of like has like a little bit of like an ugly.
I mean, it's got the little layer, but it's not like overhanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That looks nice.
So we get the hair is also hard. The ears and the
Yeah.
hair may be the hardest parts.
Now, how many of these have you modeled? Like, have you done a bunch or like played around with different versions of yourself?
I don't know at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot.
And how, on the scale of easy to hard, would you say that a basic character like this would be? And like, how long should it take for a beginner to?
A beginner should take you, I'm gonna say, like 8 to 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Large range.
No, I mean that makes sense. Just like, still a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm going quick and just following my intuition on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see your hair from the side, because you've got like so you've got like your hair kind of does this thing up top and then kind of goes back. So like, so we're gonna add like some like your hair parts into these spikes. Let's add those.
Okay. So you can add different points and pull out from those points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna just copy the geometry over again, not because it's that helpful, but because it's quick. And I'm gonna so I can like turn off the filter for watching the smoothing, so I can like kind of get that a little bit down.
Yeah.
Then thankfully you don't have like a part, like the hardest thing is like when someone has asymmetrical hair.
Yeah.
Then I have to like change my filters and like figure out when I have to stop mirroring, because it gets to be the whole thing. So
little double horns. Yep.
Hold on. We're not done here yet. We're not done.
No, I can see how it's turning in, how you can turn into like a little fan of that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this is something I would never want to do like live in front of a client. I guess I'm happy to just do it in front of the whole internet, but if someone was like sitting for their portrait, I don't know how I'd feel about that. This is the new oil painting, Dylan. Like you're the new royalty.
That's what I was saying. It was cool seeing the people who do the realistic ones, because like.
Okay, I get it, man. I get it. I know I'm not.
No. I'm just saying, like.
I know you want the hyper real. I can't. I'm not that good.
I know we cannot do that today. I'm just saying that I was so impressed when I saw how they were done and like had no idea of how, and now I'm getting a glimpse of how people would actually mold somebody's face.
Yeah, so once I've got this, then I can kind of start like playing around adding stuff. And I'm just like, I'm gonna keep doing that for like a row here, and then a couple. Your hair's a little bit asymmetrical, but like.
Yeah. I have a cowlick, so it all just kind of.
I do too.
Goes back at one corner of it.
Yeah, that's actually an area where my hair is different in my V2. Like my body's different than my V2.
Your hair's been all over the place lately.
Because it's gotten longer. So, and that's the other thing, is physics is hard. Like,
does your audience know at all what you look like?
I look like that character. I've been, like, if you look through my videos, like you can see like for like devlogs I've made and stuff like when I've tried to like show people how the tech works, like if I'm doing a motion capture video.
So your face will come out for it,
Yeah, exactly. So,
or mustache.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna like group these because we're kind of running out of time here. I want to add like a little bit of color and lighting real quick, but
little copy and paste.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, don't know what that was, but it did not like it. Here. All right. And then I can turn off this part, and I can kind of like groom it into stuff. So like,
that is really cool. I was actually just watching a video of somebody recreating Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings.
Oh wow!
The big final castle city in Blender, and it basically looks like what you're doing, just adjusting an insane amount of little details.
Yeah.
But it also looked incredibly tedious.
Ooh, we got some ones that are like kind of getting messed up at the base.
That's cool. You can see like inside of it, the layers.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to think because like we don't want the like the rest of your hair to suck either. So like, I gotta like kind of do this again. I think. And I think actually, you know what? We'll make it all bigger. And that way it's like it'll kind of
yeah, I see.
Oh my gosh, this is okay, it's something.
That's looking good. It's looking good for
it's getting there.
I'm with the rest of the face.
Like I've said, this might be the last time I ever do this live on YouTube. I'm trying stuff right now with the show and whatnot, because like you don't know what plays well
until you try. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. I'm sure that if you did this a lot, then you'd probably get a lot quicker at sorting it out.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so like if I can lower the top a little bit so it's like less obvious that there's like
the bump.
Yeah. This is like starting to be like in range, I guess. I would love to do something to like kind of like rough up the top of the rest of your hair, like kind of like taper the spikiness.
Yeah.
We could do like a little quick experiment with that, but I don't think it will pay off. We could add like a noise filter on it. Whoa. Well, it's a bad start.
So that's what the rudimentary part looks like.
Yeah, hold on. Let's do that awful filter, but let's start with just one piece of it. Yeah, don't. Everything gets worse before it gets better. So if I like, let's see here. Gonna mess with I should go back to like the whole Blender view so that people can see what I'm doing now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Much larger.
Image. I'm gonna do like I need to do like a clouds. I think that's the way to go. So if I go back and I play with I can start to like push things out. There'll be places where I don't want that, but like I can probably fix it manually.
Yeah.
So like I gotta change the size.
This reminds me a lot of After Effects. Toggles where there's a lot of different parameters, and you have to find between the distortion, size, scale, flow, a lot of different things like that.
Yeah. So like you're like playing things against each other. So like
exactly
intensity versus like yeah, because like weirdly this is something I can use. Like if I except then I can and can't. So like I have to like, all right, we're gonna make decisions faster. So I'm gonna bake that, and then I'm gonna pull this. I'm just gonna start doing broad sweeping changes. Like yeah.
Nice.
Should have considered asking myself if I was good enough to to this live. I was just like, yeah, I'm pretty fast at that. No big deal. I got this.
It's the live pressure.
It's the live pressure. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I like doing this though, because like next time you come on the show, you can come on as a VTuber.
So what would that take for me to have this tracking? What would I have to have?
Oh, I think I will eventually make you a program and everyone a program that would let
Hmm.
them do that themselves at home without having to learn a ton of Unreal
Yeah,
Engine stuff, which is where I'm doing all of my. Uh, but like I can't announce anything, any you know, that's like further down the line. But
hmm,
I have had talked to some prospective guests for the show, and I've been like, "Yeah, come on," and they're like, "I want to come on as a VTuber." It's like, well, but uh, it's not always that simple.
sure.
Yeah. Mm,
I guess what I'm saying is, so let's say things come down the road and you have done what you want to do. Do you feel like it would be possible for people to use it without all the intense tracking? Or do you
yeah.
still need to wear everything?
So if you looked further down in my channel, I made a video about how to do mocap tracking with just your iPhone. So like
Okay.
you can get a lot of data off of the face tracking apps that I'm using when I use Unreal Engine. So like
Yeah.
okay, so this is like maybe usable.
Yep. I'm calling it usable.
Yep, let's do it. Cuz then we can like, like we can cheat a little bit on some more steps too. But like
Hmm.
let's put let's let's hide this and let's get like a camera here. I think that's the wrong shortcut. But uh, ah, you can like there's like a shortcut that lets you. Oh, do I even know it anymore? Like sometimes I'll spend a lot of time in like Unreal or Blender and then like
Hmm.
forget stuff in the other one when I come back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's like a shortcut that lets you do like a first person character mode here. So then we can change our like focal length and stuff
Hmm.
and get you this headshot. Uh, yeah. Yeah, not too shabby for what we're working with here. So if you
Yeah,
want to,
good work.
we'll just like
It seemed very quick to be able
it's
to put that
this
together.
style in particular. So I'm gonna go with like a with the better rendering engine too. Um, so I've got a light here already in the
Hmm.
scene. Where is that? Um, it's affecting the scene. So I'm gonna bring it closer and I'm gonna make it bigger because you can like
Hmm.
I think you can just increase the radius. So it'll be like having a like do you know what a gem ball is? Like for in like cinematography, there's like gem ball light sources. That's
Not quite. What are they?
so that's just like a big just a big giant light.
Hmm.
That, it's like a softbox is like a circular softbox basically.
Okay, yeah, yes, I've definitely seen them before.
Um, okay, so that's kind of a cool light.
Yeah,
So that's like a good
flattering
start.
on the chin. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sort of like I think you and I are both in a place where like we'd know enough to like we both know enough to take like a really nice headshot of somebody, but like maybe are not at the point in the career in our careers where that's like the thing we're trying to advertise the most.
100%. I'm just like, let me make the lighting look flattering, so a little bit above the face, a little bit to the side of it, and that is my knowledge.
Yeah, here I'm gonna give you a default skin shader that I made for my
Cool.
character. Um, apparently sock shader. I don't know where that came from, but here we'll go to like the quick view mode, so we're not like rendering everything. Amsterdam Stuff clarified his story. He said he sold the bar and started a solo company, trying to make something like this, but to promote rock bands. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. Amsterdam Stuff, are you in our Discord? You should we should chat sometime. That'd be fun. Uh, Is it possible to hook up two iPhones at the same time to Unreal and have two tunes use it? Absolutely, it is. That's something on my list of things to try soon. Let's add like a hair shader. So we're gonna add like a, whoa, that's gonna get like a dark color. That's the base material shader. I don't want to work off that. So I'm gonna create a new one, and then I'll assign it. Actually, you know what? I'll just like grab everything and then like invert the selection, and then there we go. Add. Oh, seems like I have a pre-made hair shader I could apply to. This is like definitely. This is like I've definitely somehow imported like a bunch of shaders that I've made before.
Yeah.
So
I feel like watching you work within this program is a lot of it is just knowing how to do stuff.
Yeah, it is a lot of programs. Yeah.
Like, yeah, literally just like the learning curve is really steep because of understanding the tools.
The way I got people ask me like how do you get good at Blender, and like the way I got really good at it was just like doing it every day for like it's just a super long time. Yeah, I'll just go back to this hair color, and I'm just gonna change I'll work off of this, and I'll make this the hair as well. So like that's too saturated for your hair. You have brown hair, but you have like gray or brown hair. It's like gray hair.
It's brown, but it's kind of light brown. It just doesn't look like that on camera right now, I guess.
You're like, hey man, it's not gray. What are you talking about? I'm not trying to say it's gray. Hair, and then we can do our hair there, and then we'll do like I use a black emissive shader for the mouth, so that ends up being completely dark. So you could go emission, then pull that all the way down, and then assign that. I might start with do I have a nose shader? Let's start with that. Do we have any eyes?
What's your nose shader set at? Like, what does that look like?
That is my nose shader, I'm pretty sure. But this is Blender. Like, I have Unreal shaders for all my live stuff. Yeah. So it looks totally different. Okay. I don't have eyes. Okay, cool. We're going to make some eyes. And remind me not to pan down, because then it becomes an NSFW stream. We don't want that.
Got
it. Yeah, what color eyes do you have? Do you have blue eyes? I think
brown
you do,
eyes. Right? Quite dark brown eyes.
Quite dark brown eyes. Okay. Hold on. Oh, that's the subsurface color. Which, while cool, is not. Yeah, so something like that. We need your gauges to be black, so we need like a new material for that. Boom. So that something like this. So like we do have to kind of we'll save everyone the shock factor. We'll go back out. We're gonna make you a real quick shirt, and then I have like minutes left on the clock. So like then we'll just create like change the background color, and we'll just render something quickly. And I'll work a little bit after we're done on this, and then come up with something a little bit more a little better than that. Hold on.
How will you pull the shirt off? Do you just like select part of the body and extrude?
I've already done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see here. I feel like they've changed the way that like edges work for some of this stuff. It's okay, because we don't need the the rest of this. We just need like oh, you know what it is? You know what's going on here that would like look so much better if I just like there we go. Everything would look better if I had put the mirror on before the subdivision. The layering of things matters like After Effects when you're so we'll make the shirt. We'll give the shirt its own shader. what color shirt? Do you want to wear the same color as real life? Do you want to like let's do like a solid color tee. Ooh,
Probably gray. I
this
would
might
probably
be
go
good.
gray or
All right.
dark green.
Little,
Yeah, dark green.
little
Like
CG
forest.
trick. Okay. Little CG trick is whenever you do gray, like mix in a little bit of a color of something because like true grays are rare
Yeah.
in real life.
Doesn't
So we're
look
gonna
quite
assign
real.
this one, and we're gonna turn like this the roughness up. And all right, so when we yeah, that's not so bad.
Nice.
It's off to a good start at least.
Yeah. No, that looks great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Good
I,
work.
I'm I'm personally working through my own issues about like expecting myself to do better
Hmm.
completely live, but
Yeah.
I think for our
No, I
purposes
think you
here,
hit it. I feel like I mean you did that in what literally 30 minutes.
yeah. So,
It does have my qualities.
yeah. Let's just change the background color and we'll just do a little quick little shot here. We'll like move the world. We'll just change like the world color. We can make it a little brighter. And what's like a complement for the yeah, like a pink would complement the
Hmm.
forest gray. Yeah,
Nice.
not too like sort of a pale pink maybe. Yeah, like turn it up. Yeah, that's you know
It's good.
I've
It's
learned some
quality.
things. Make your hair a little bit simpler here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Subdivision. Yeah. But yeah, with some work, this could be a good Woody style virtual
A
VTuber.
100%.
I'm calling this like the Woodyverse style.
Yeah.
But
Did you mimic it from anywhere else, or did you just kind of?
it just kind of looks like the way I draw. Like that's
Hmm.
like the sort of the way I draw characters
Yeah.
when I'm just sketching. Like I
Yeah.
like when I draw cartoons. Like I've always drawn eyes like that. It just kind of looks that way.
The upward oval. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
totally.
like them.
Let's see if I haven't like can I come back on this stream here with like my regular character? Let's the hold on. One thing I'm working on always with this stream is just like how many
Transitions and such.
yes.
Do you have like one of those like Stream Deck
Um
scenes?
I I've seen them. I know about them. I actually just bought a they make pedals now. My friend
Oh.
Pixelfire, who did the show as our first episode,
Hmm.
he is a brand sponsor for Elgato sponsors his channel. So he just
Hmm.
released a video about the new pedals, and I bought two of them because it's
So you're not having to move your hands around and take them off the controller.
yeah,
Nice.
basically.
Yeah.
So Dylan, thanks for being on our show. We've got
Thanks
a
for having me.
yeah, we've got a. I'm just gonna go back to it real quick.
Hmm.
Got a, we got a new VTuber review. It's growing on me, I should say. I want to fix the hair, but it's growing on me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
No, you did great with the spikes. It's a lot better than like the regular molded look.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
think the gauges sell it. You got the eyebrows. They have nice little arches on them.
yeah, they need to like actually taper onto your
Yeah.
face more. But
Yeah. Well, thanks
the
for doing that, and thanks for having me on. It's been nice talking to you.
yeah, no, it's been great having you. So I don't. There's not. What else do we have left to do? You've told us so many cool stories about the work you do, and then, you're now officially a member of the oncoming metaverse of VTubers. So I think we just gotta cut this stream, man.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Hope you have a good rest of the day.
Good. Oh wait, let's check chat real quick.
Okay.
Um, just shout out a couple people. My Dwight's in the chat. He says, "If heads up, if he ended up looking bad, then you became the first ever 3D model caricature artist." I'm wondering if that already exists. The let's see here. Yeah, Duxie's here. Hey, what up, Duxie? Also, shout out Gayleen. My mom's in the chat. Always love that.
Nice.
She thinks you look like one of my cousins. Gotta stop giving my mom these links.
Probably do
Dylan,
look like Tim.
this is the yeah. I'll. I don't know about that. This has been fantastic. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks for your time. It's been great talking with you. It's been a super fun stream. So,
It has been. Thanks for having me.
yeah, for sure. All right, y'all. That's another one in the books. Thanks for hanging out on Virtual Woody Variety Show. I will see you all later. You want to tell the people bye?
Goodbye. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.